week into June, which is just a little wild to me. Today's code of conduct item of the week is speak and act supportively of ECI as a company and of our workers. Ben Dow, what do you have to add on that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
So I've been voted as the representative of the drivers today again,
Okay.
and we want to comment on that. Eric, what does that mean to you?
Be positive, don't cause drama, and solve problems.
All right.
Don't solve problems? What?
We're gonna have a conversation after, but that's our input.
All right. We're at 10 days without a recordable and 10 days without a first aid injury. Let's try to get that up a ways. Like I said a couple weeks ago on one of the slides that we were remaking, it was at 299 days. So I'd say if we can get to 300, that'd be pretty good. 300 days without a 300 log. Safety shout outs of the week. I noticed this week that Phil Forster was making printouts for his workers to supplement his JHA process. I thought that was a cool idea. I know everybody doesn't have those resources, but just thinking outside the box and using what you have to communicate everything really well to the workers that you might have. And then Jesse Lumber had a great JHA for water break last night. I know with those, you can't really say exactly what you're going to do for every step because often you don't know what every step's going to be until you get in, but really thinking forward and making sure that you have as much info as you can before you start work. Today we're going to talk about heat stress. That falls in a few different categories. First one's going to be your rashes. So once your sweat builds up on your skin, especially when you're wearing long pants and boots and stuff like that, you get the little bumps on your skin. Those can be irritating, and the best way to avoid those is by, staying home and having a nice day off. But those are bound to happen. But if you can try to alleviate that by as soon as you get home, putting on shorts and letting your skin breathe, that's going to be the best way to deal with that. You're going to have heat cramps, so muscle cramps due to being dehydrated, and you need electrolytes. So once you get into the heat cramp and fatigue realm, which is weakness and tiredness due to being dehydrated and hot, that's where you really want to take the time out, take 10 minutes, go hang out in the truck, drink some water, cool off, because that's when you're headed towards a bad place, which is your heat exhaustion, which is once you start adding the headache, nausea, weakness, thirst, giddiness, vertigo, stuff like that. And then you have heat stroke, which is the most serious. And that's when your body regulation stops working. So suddenly you're usually you're 98.6 degrees. Suddenly you're at 101, 105 degrees. And that's when you really need to be hospitalized in the ER and stuff like that. So if we can take a time out when we get to the heat cramp and fatigue realm, that's really going to save us from having major issues. If you're a laborer or operator and you're out shoveling and working hard and you start feeling woozy and crampy, that's a good time to tell your foreman, hey, listen, this is what's going on. And as a foreman, it's your job to take that and say, all right, man, go take 5-10 minutes in the truck, drink some water, some Gatorade, and then we'll circle back. So it's all about communication and just understanding, hey, it's not weakness. It's hot out there. Let's solve the problem rather than making it worse. So prevention, you want to drink a lot of water. This says cool water, but really water is water. So if you can have any water, it's going to be good, but cold water does go down a lot better on a hot day. You want to take plenty of rest breaks. If you're out there and it's 100 degrees and you're paving in the hot sun, if you can find a tree periodically or something like that, just to hang out for a minute, just kind of get your heat back under control, drink a little bit of water and get back to it. That's going to be great. That leads into finding shade in a cool area. The other thing you want to do is dress for the heat. So if you're going to wear dark shirts like this, it's probably not the best idea on a hot day. If you can wear something lighter, it's going to reflect more sun off you rather than soaking it up. And you want to watch out for each other. That's my favorite one on here is keep an eye out. If you see a guy that's starting to act funny or anything like that, make sure that you're taking him off the line and having him cool off and drink some water. And we don't really have to worry about wearing face coverings right now, so that's obviously a good thing. So you want to hydrate before, during, and after work. So hydration during the summertime should be I don't want to say 24/7 event, but obviously you're sleeping. So drink a glass of water before you go to bed, drink a glass of water when you get up in the morning. If you can limit your coffee and alcohol consumption during the week, that's going to help you out a lot also. So, and that's a big one. Let's see here. Trying to flip slides. So just knowing the signs. So headache, nausea, weakness, dizziness, heavy sweating, and then once you get to not sweating anymore, that's when you're in the really bad way that you need to call 911. And those people are going to be, pretty delusional and not having a good time. So you're gonna have elevated body temperature once it gets really bad. Thirst is gonna be a pretty constant thing, I think, during the summertime. So just keep quenching that thirst with water. Once you get decreased urine output and you're, super dark urine, it's a good indication that you're getting dehydrated. Things that you can do for them is give them water, remove unnecessary clothing, move to a cooler area. Cool with water, ice, or a fan. This might not be an option for the fan, but if you have truck with air conditioning, that works well. Do not leave alone and seek medical care if needed. Like I said, that's once you stop sweating that you really need to get medical care immediately. And your first aid. So this is once it gets really bad. So you have an abnormal thinking or behavior, slurred speech, seizures, loss of consciousness. You want to call 911 immediately. So it says cool the worker right away with ice water. You don't want to put the guy into shock. So, dribbling a little bit of cold water on him is a good thing, but taking the whole cooler and dumping the remnants of the cooler on him is probably not a good idea. You want to obviously stay with them until that help arrives. It's interesting, when you're in the super, super hot areas, and I think like range 400 out in California, 29 Palms, and you have the guy that stands there and says, if you have a seizure, you have issues with the heat today, you're this, that, and the other thing. And of course, it's that guy that has a seizure and has to get flown out. So I don't want to be that guy today. But it's not a matter of weakness and things like that. It's just something that happens. Even if you do everything right, it can happen. So I'm going to stop sharing and kick it over.
Okay, I think you're most susceptible if you aren't used to it, right?
Yep. Yeah. Your first week out, you're much more likely to have issues than if you've been out in the heat for a while. So.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Heat stress. So announcements here. We have once again, it's the time of year where we have to do the update for the Vermont Healthcare Declaration Form. It's a mandatory form that helps ECI properly compute our healthcare contribution to the state. It is required to be updated annually. So if you submitted a form in 24, like if you were new to the company, you would have, you're all set. Anyone needing to submit a form, submit an update, will find a form in today's paycheck stub package. And then also please complete and return to Melanie by the 20th of June, which is a Thursday. And thank you. And I forgot to put the link in. I'll keep the link in there for next week. But I forgot to add that. So again, if you are already on ECI's program, you don't need to submit the form because obviously the company already knows your status. I just have the EEO training video here, so please check it out if you haven't watched it. And today, Friday the 7th, is the Morgan Stanley Financial Advisors are here. I don't know if there's any openings left, but I left this on as a reminder so that if you did sign up, you can be there at your scheduled time. And then I have the social media links to Facebook and Instagram, and just a little reminder here on the Facebook and both, I guess, there is a June photo contest going on. So you should send in your favorite ECI photo. And then the holiday care premium holiday is going on still. So just keep that in our minds that when that changes, it's going to mean more money out of your paycheck. But right now, enjoy it. And then it was kind of interesting, kind of related to this holiday, premium holiday and our wellness program with Champlain Medical and say the EAP or the Employee Assistance Plan and just other helpful little things hopefully throughout the company put us in a situation where we were a recipient of, or will be a recipient of, the 2024 Governor's Excellent Worksite Wellness Award. So at the gold level, which is, I think there's a gold, silver, and a bronze. So we're actually right up there. And it's with a bunch of other employees. But they'll be presented at an upcoming wellness conference held by the Department of Health. So pretty cool stuff. And if you don't think that we are providing enough wellness programs and support, then certainly you need to be talking to somebody. Probably start with the safety department. We have some new employees. We have Logan Craig. He's doing fleet maintenance. And we have Jimmy Brown has joined the trenchless division. Jimmy's a returnee from several years ago. And here again is the ECI Primary Care Wellness Program link. So check it out. If you're not on the program, please sign up. It's a great little thing. I'm in it. A lot of people are in it to supplement even what we get from our health insurance. So I'm going to do for this week's Project of the Week, the St. Albans Resource Recovery Center in St. Albans. And I'll read through the narrative and Ronnie will help me through the photos. So ECI is contracted with Arco Murray for the building and tank concrete at the anaerobic digestion facility at St. Albans Industrial Park. The digester will take waste from local food and beverage manufacturers at the park, but also beyond, and particularly Ben and Jerry's, who obviously make a lot of food waste up there. The digester will process up to 50,000 gallons of waste per day and produce 710 kilowatts of electrical power. The project is designed and developed by Purpose Energy. They're the same developer as the Middlebury Digester project where we were working last year. The facility includes a 4,000 square foot equipment and control building that houses pumps, filters, and heating systems, 2 70,000 gallon equalization tanks, and 3 700,000 gallon reactors. So big tanks. And a cogen unit that converts the gas generated by the facility to electricity and heated water. The facility's byproducts include dry solids waste used for fertilizer, filtered water that is sent into the sewer, and the gas which is converted to electricity. Our work started this winter with construction of a 100 by 40 foot control building, footing walls, and interior slab, and a 24 by 24 receiving building. Once the buildings were completed, we started the 2 round equalization tank slabs. The tanks are 21 foot, 10-inch outside diameter, and a 2 by 4 by 6 grade beam under the tank, essentially under the tank structure that's supported by the slab. And the 3 reactor tank slabs are 53 foot 3 inches outside diameter with 2 grade beams for each tank slab, and the grade beam size are 2 by 2. The project has a cogen skid pad, scrubber gas conditioning pad, dumpster pad, flare pad, standby generator pad, building aprons, and sidewalk all around the building. So quite a bit to it. Total concrete on the project are 1,000 yards and 92 tons of rebar. So Ronnie, are you on?
Yep. Yeah, I am, Ken. So this is part of the building. This is the piers. This was the control building piers, and then We did the piers first and then we'll do the footings after they backfill around the piers. That's just part of the building. You can see there's a lot of steps in this building. So a lot of different elevations and walls.
What's that standing up on the sides? Though, look like a little post.
Those are the columns that we
Okay,
did
those
on
are
the
the columns built-
previous,
Right.
on the
got it.
previous, pictures.
So they set the columns before we set the concrete, huh?
Yeah, because what they did, Ken, is they did the columns and then we did 3/4 of the wall. And then they ran all their pipes in between the columns and then we did some little stub footings and walls on top of them over the pipes.
Mhm.
Just another part of the building. There you can see how they ran their pipes in underground and then we did the connecting footings. Which there's a lot of pipes that go underneath there.
Yeah. What's the green line? Is that final grade?
Yes, correct.
I see. So it's got like a deep basement in it?
No, it's all gets filled in, Ken. It's
Oh,
all
really?
pretty much filled in. You know, the lower wall, that's about the slab height on the inside.
Interesting. It just seems that there's a lot of wall, but I guess it's
A
just
lot
a
of,
step.
lot of wall for no reason really. That's a picture of the control building. We're prepping for the slabs. You can see the C channels and the trench drains and
You
there's
can
a lot of
convince
trench
Mikey,
drains.
I'm in. Right. Let's say, I would be all for it, Reggie.
Got somebody on in the background there.
Hey, fuck.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, so you can see them C channels there. They were 30 foot long. They were quite a task to get them set to the grade, the slab elevation, and them are for the dumpsters. So they'll roll a dumpster in there when they're all said and done. And the theory is that the dumpsters will roll on them C channels, the wheels.
Oh, okay.
This is the cogen pad, I do believe, when we're pouring that, it was a pretty good sized pad. Now I don't think you have a picture of the actual cogen sitting on it, but it's quite a big unit that sits on top of that pad.
It seems big length and width, but it doesn't seem very thick, does it?
Yeah, no. Only I think it was like 6 or 8 inches at the most.
Hmm.
This is one of the equalization tanks that the guys did. All the forms were hand built because of such a sharp radius. And this is part of the grade beam. They'll build the forms for the grade beam, pour that, then they fill in the center, and then we do the slab on top.
And those pipes are from the part of the process piping.
Yep,
that
part
come
of
right
the
up.
process coming in.
Oh.
This just kind of shows you the big tanks. There's the grade beams that they're doing. They've already got 2 of them done, and now that this is the 3rd one that they're working on. The grade beams are all completed. The slab is done on one of the big tanks. We're pouring number 2 and number 3 next week for the slabs.
So what's that white unit on the right side?
That is the cogen.
That is cogen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of equipment to have on a 6 or 8 inch slab, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's in the background. That's a couple other tanks, and the guys there are working on the grade beams on the big tanks. we learned a lot from Middlebury, so this actually went really well. The guys kind of had the concept down, and so it went together very, very well. This is just another one of the big tanks where the grade beams are done, and they've got the tank ring is set, and now they're getting ready to backfill. And you notice we left the outside panels on. We brought them up to grade, so that way we didn't have to do another edge form for the slab. We had the panels already there. That's Nate. I think Nate is on the on the cogen. You know, they have a catwalk up there, so he could get up in elevation and take a shot down. Thought that
I
was
see a
pretty
shadow.
cool.
See a shadow there?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're getting ready to pour. That was our first big tank pour, and I think we have a picture of it. The guy's finishing it after.
Pretty intense rebar. All kind of a radial pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can see like we put wire mesh on top of it, so that way when the guys are pouring it, they don't fall through the rebar and twist a ankle or something. So
Yep.
that's just a picture showing you the in between on the outside, kind of how much rebar and how tight it is in there to get that rebar in there. Guys,
They're
you know, they've done a good job.
they're bent to that radius.
What's that, Ken?
They're already pre-bent to the radius,
Yes, correct.
but still a 30-footer. That's a lot to put in there.
Yeah, and it's heavy bar.
Yeah.
This is one of the small tanks that they're working on. The two small equalization tanks are completed. This is just them tying the rebar before we poured it.
With a simpler pattern.
Yes, yeah. Even on the big ones, the interior is like this a 90 degree grid, and you can see like on the end of the bars there, they're like a candy cane.
Right.
We had them change that to that design because they asked for a standard hook, and the standard hook is like 16 inches. So down in Middlebury, we had to lay them all down sideways because they had been sticking out of the slab, and it gets quite confusing when you start laying them on their sides and trying to get them in there. It just
Right.
it just looked like a mess. This was a lot nicer, neater job.
Yep.
And that was our pouring we poured the two small tanks at the same time. And I think the boys are just waiting for some concrete.
Yep.
You can see the exterior form that we built.
Okay.
That we left that right in place, so that worked out well.
Coil rods go all the way through.
Yep. Yeah, it's part of the grade beam. You know, now the grade beam is completed, so that coil rod is holding everything together.
Yeah. And it looks like the kind of the top sill plate just kind of overlaps onto the little panels.
Yep. That is our first big tank that the guys are finishing. You know, we do a steel trowel finish on them to seal them up good.
And that's one of the smaller tanks in the background.
That's a big tank.
Oh, that's a big tank.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back?
In the background is they've got one of the smaller tanks completed, and you can see and farther beyond that one, they're working on the second small tank,
Okay.
which
Yep.
are both completed now, and they're actually working on the big tank here.
Yep.
Putting it up.
Cool.
That's quite a job.
Yeah, pretty cool job for sure.
Yeah,
Lots
the
of-
guys, like I said, we learned a lot from Middlebury. And the guys showed it here on getting these ones together because they hammered it out.
Good to hear. Yeah, cool job. And from the photo archives, this is the photo has the 2 tanks, wastewater tanks over at IBM, which is now Global Foundries, of course. And back in 2010, we were regrading the bottom of the one of the tanks so that they pitch it down for better cleaning purposes. So we were putting fill in there and raising the grade inside that tank. So pretty cool job. We had the sand slinger or whatever it is, one of those conveyors dropping the material in.
That there can also, if you remember right, they wanted a thickened edge all the way around the outside of the tank. So what we did is we used a waste blocks and put them in, and then we were able to fill the sand. And then when we poured it, we were able to fill in that thickened edge for them too. So
Yep, cool.
it was quite a job.
Yep. All right. Okay. Thanks, Ronnie. I will pass it back to the safety department to close out the meeting.
Yeah, thanks all. Thanks everybody joining. If you watch the group setting, please send over attendance. I've already seen a couple messages, so I appreciate that. Keep it coming. And if you did catch that EEO over the last week, we're trying to button that up this week. There's a couple outliers. We'll reach out here shortly. Get that done. Let's enjoy the great day. Weather should be pretty nice today, so great day to work safe. Let's have a great
Some
day.
rain coming through, I think, but midday
Yeah, maybe
rain.
some isolated showers depending on location.
Certainly looks good now.
Yeah, let's take advantage. Great day to work safe. Let's have a great one.
Yep. All right, have a good one.